सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं नमस्ते yes we are continuing our last discussion. Is it possible to recollect anything that we saw in the last discussion? Any point?
Um,
Yes,
we
so Shudri,
discussed.
I remember that we had talked about free will,
Yes.
and we concluded that readiness to yeah, of giving up our free will to the divine is actually what is the right way to
Uh,
exercise the free will.
so we are free to give up the free will to the divine.
Yes, yes,
That is the actual, you can say, freedom that we have, isn't it?
yes. It's an
Because
antithesis, really. Yeah.
yes, yes, and there are certain limitations in our human existence, and like we have to now function through that limitations. But there's a question is, are these limitations which are assigned by nature upon us, by Prakriti, are they permanent? Or maybe we will have a say to change
No,
certain things.
nothing is permanent, I feel.
Okay,
It's
so these
always
limitations
dynamic.
also may not be permanent, isn't it?
Yeah, they're all dynamic according to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means there is a possibility that we might be able to even break from these limitations of Prakriti. And probably that is what Sri Aurobindo talks about in his yoga, transformation of material nature. He
Hmm.
talks about a supramental consciousness which will descend upon earth at that time when the earth is receptive to experience it. And that has the power to transform things. So, as of now, we did understand that, or we concluded that we have the free will to choose to align ourselves with the divine consciousness. We have the free will to recognize that our individual will is quite finite and limited. When we don't realize that, we think we are everything. We have the strength which is going to direct our life. We have the strength to control the outcomes. We have the strength to control the results of our actions. And many of us do proceed in that way, isn't it?
Mm,
We try to control the results, but the results of actions, do we have control over them?
not
Not at
really,
all.
no.
Not at all.
Not at all, or sometimes we do have control, sometimes we don't, isn't it?
We think that, don't we?
Okay,
That
yeah,
we have
actually,
in control, but we're not really, because
we're
like
not
a
sure.
child, given a space, you
Mhm.
do what you like within it. If you try to climb over, they'll put you back saying, no,
Yeah,
that's where you stay. Same for the rest
yeah.
of us.
Normally, we realize it quite late, isn't it, that we don't have control. After all our
I know.
efforts are over, after all our efforts have been exhausted, we are exhausted, we've tried it, and then many times we then, in these moments when we don't have individual strength, that is when we turn to God then.
Mm,
And that time when we turn, we feel now that we have turned, we must be complied, we must be immediately responded by the divine. See, I have turned to you. Now you should consider yourself lucky that I have turned. That is what many
Happens in
people
Hindi.
feel. Yes,
That
Alpna ji?
only happens. No, that only happens in Hindi films, when there is
And if
some
so, a lot of
calamity.
people I know, I know a lot of people
Then
also, some of
they
my
say
friends
Krishna
also.
bhajan or some Ram
I
bhajan.
have done so much for God, now he should do this much for me. I'm yet to find some human being who can do something for God. I think God can do so much for us, isn't it? What can we do? No, no, I went, I gave these many coconuts. This was in school only. One boy used to give coconuts in exchange for good marks. He's become a classic example for me because he felt these coconuts would give him good marks. And then because he got good marks, everybody started giving coconuts. But then that fad died down because not everybody who gave coconuts got good marks. So they felt something wrong in the exchange rate here and they decided to stop offering. But they did not realize that along with the coconuts, there was the karma also of that person who was sincerely offering. So sometimes we get the fruits of our actions, and sometimes we don't. There are so many factors governing it. And in this game, in this what we call khichdi of different forces, different karmic factors, sometimes there are so many levels of. If I am standing in front of you right now, or say I'm sitting in front of you in this session, behind this, God only knows what are the how many factors were there that allowed me to sit here. It could have anyway, just a few moments back, it looked like today's session may not take place because the internet had gone down in the village. But it got restored. When who has done that? Or what is the reason? We do not know. Like that, so many such actions. Sometimes we are the cause, what we call we are
Mm.
the karana for that. But sometimes there is a karana which is beyond us. They say there is something which is very physical and practical, what we call sthula. Sometimes which is very subtle. There is a sukshma. And there are certain other karanas which this happened because someone with some greater insight will be able to say, this is what you did that day. That is the consequence. Because you did this. Sometimes people bear consequences of dialogues they've uttered 10 years ago. They don't even remember. I just recently heard of one elderly gentleman who who patched up with his brother after nearly 35 years. 35 years. And the strangest aspect is that person couldn't remember why he has a grudge with them. The other person kept trying, but nothing happened. And suddenly he says it is the alignment of the different grahas in some aspect that finally I patched up with him because this is what was one incomplete thing in my life. It was something which was carrying me. But two other brothers passed away. They never patched up with that individual. And God only knows what was the karana for it. Sometimes
Mm.
it's very easy to say prarabdha. Anybody is aware of this shabda, prarabdha? Yes?
Yes, Chuchuji, we know what is prarabdha.
What
Destiny.
what would you, yes, ji?
Destiny, I think that means.
Destiny is that is going to come. Prarabdha is that was before, no?
What was
Prarabdha,
written already? Huh.
bef- before I means we are, it's like I'm carrying a debit balance of what I have done previously. It's like a bank account of my previous birth also is affecting me today. Not
Mm-hmm.
only the actions of this birth. These are all factors sometimes which one wonders, what is it? What is this game of karma? What I did not do anything wrong. Maybe last birth I was a mass murderer. Give me punishment in last birth. Why are you giving it to me now? People don't really understand what is the factor. And then, if there are certain things, if everything is predestined, what is the role of human effort and what is the what can we do? Can we write our own destiny? Can we alter our destiny? Are there factors? So this is a big question many of us face many times. And there is no particular time for us, which is not like it is not nowadays really too early or too late. The time Kala is that which was exactly decided by the divine. They say hour of the god. It can come to anybody at any time. But we have to seize that moment and then act upon it. If we just see in the Gita, at least what we see, Krishna talks about all of us being a part of a continuum through so many births. Arjuna is very disturbed because of the current events of this birth. He says, I do not like this. Look at how my relatives are behaving with me. Look at my elders. These elders are standing for what? They are baying for my blood. They want a destruction of my own personality. They want to destroy me. How can I participate? This is Arjuna's entire predicament. And that particular moment, if you see, he is now channeling thoughts inside of him, which are all inimical to his progress. These are thoughts which are going to cause trouble to him. These are thoughts which will not allow him to move forward. Sometimes we say, let all good thoughts come. They say, Ano Bhadraha Kritavanto. Just sit under a tree, meditate, and receive all the great thoughts from the universe. It is a wonderful feeling. You can get great inspirations. If you're a poet, you'll write the most beautiful poetry when these thoughts come. If you're an artist, you will be able to write, I mean, draw, you'll be able to sing, whatever art form, it will manifest. When you are receptive, you become a conduit for the higher cosmic force, which is having, like you see, everywhere across the world, there is this great goodwill among people, which is there. Imagine you channel the goodwill. But then if you can channel the goodwill, is there a possibility of channeling the ill will also then? That is the question. Yes,
Why not?
anybody? Isn't it? If
You,
that logic works, if we say the logic of goodwill is going to power us,
yeah.
then there is an ill will that can disturb us. And that is exactly what happened to our Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. Immediately started thinking about all the worst case scenarios. And in the end, he did something which was almost suicidal, destroying himself, saying, I'll leave my bow. It is better. I will retain some dignity. What dignity would have come to a hero or to a warrior? Warriors are they are it is in their blood. The Kshatriya dharma is to stand up and fight. He's going to fall from dharma. And yet he is quoting scriptures to claim that falling from dharma is right. Meaning he is now under the spell of forces which are undivine or forces that are going to bring about a destruction of his personality, forces which are going to not only you know, affect his thoughts, but also his deeds, and also have consequences on his destiny. So that is why Krishna in the Gita keeps telling us that we have to become conscious of our own minds first. Recognize that the mind is limited, but understand that you can be a, if you are able to channel the right forces, you have the friend inside of you. If you're channeling the wrong forces, you don't need any other enemy. You will be in the most happiest moment, and the happiest moment, no other person will come to spoil it. It is you yourself because you are harboring an enemy inside. Atmaiva bandhur atmana, atmaiva ripur atmana. That is the greatest enemy. That is what Krishna says. Many times he gives so many other explanations. This comes through desires, this comes through expectations, this comes through certain unfulfilled wants. All these, sometimes these unfulfilled wants cause anger. Again, then the great cycle, kama, krodha, these are the greatest. They open what they call Naraka Dwara. Means you might be living in Swarga, you might say this is the paradise on earth, but you open the gates to Naraka into your life, and that is the biggest danger. And when we do that, then we cannot just, it's like you've got a bad driver and you cannot complain, isn't it? If you have chosen to sit in a cab, you are consciously sitting in a cab, you have the freedom to get out of the cab also, but no, you are choosing to be there only. And the driver is going to drive you in the opposite direction. So you'll never reach your destiny. Each of us is meant for a destiny, and that destiny nobody knows. So nobody can say that, I reached my destiny because I got this award when I am 45. No, that's not a destiny. That destiny is something which is, it is a progress. It is something which goes on. Nobody can tell exactly what it is and what time is that. Like they say, dharma vruddheshu vayaha na samikshite. Age is not a factor for those who have walked on the path of dharma. If age is not a factor, can we say somebody is too young to get a realization? This
No.
person does not have this much long beard or these many white hair. We cannot say this person gets realization. Same way, can somebody be too old to get a realization? No, it is not. So this aspect of who is old in this birth was probably young in the last birth, or young in this birth when the person who is young was in another birth. Because Krishna says there was never a time when the kings were not there or you were not there, Arjuna. Why are you suddenly becoming so myopic and at this moment not able to see the bigger picture? He even tells the secret between God and man in that particular adhyay. Can anybody recollect in the Gita? Krishna tells the difference between Krishna and Arjuna, which is the difference between man and God. Why? Anyone? A simple one, if anybody can recollect. In the same adhyay where Krishna begins. Okay, I think Chitra ji is saying. Yes, please.
Krishna says that he remembers all the previous births, whereas Arjuna does not. That is the difference.
Yes, absolutely. You can hear me? Yes, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You,
Yes. Hello. Am I audible?
yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. All right. That was rightly said. It is this in this Adhyaya, Krishna says, Arjuna, the difference between you and me is I too, he says, I too have taken many births. The Krishna that you see in front of you, Arjuna, is a product of evolution over several births. But the only difference why I am having this smile, or because it is said, Prahasanniva Bharata. When his hero, who is supposed to take everything ahead, who is supposed to realize the destiny not only of Arjuna alone, but of Bharat itself, that hero is now in depression. Krishna, who has promised, I will not wield a single weapon. His Narayani Sena is on the other side. And yet, that Krishna is not panicking. He is not fretting because he is conscious. He's conscious and he says, I am aware. It's for not for nothing that I have taken these many births. It is the same with all of us. We too have taken many births to come to what point of evolution we are right now. That is why the Upanishad also keeps reminding us, Kruto smara, Kritam smara. Remember the deeds that you have done. Like Hanuman had to be reminded, isn't it? Why are you worrying? You can't take this leap. You can just sleep even longer. Lanka is not too far away. Anjanya, he had to be told. And that smaran, that smriti is something which is lacking for us. And because of that smriti which is lacking, we experience what we call vismriti. We have forgotten. We have forgotten. We have a great divine heritage. We ourselves are passing on the baton to ourselves, birth after birth. We are coming, doing some work, and then going back to come again to do the work. So, this journey, it's like a continuum, and that is something. So, what is that destiny? Maybe the destiny is realization only, isn't it? A full realization.
Shushuji,
Yes, Ji.
Shushuji, in the childhood, somebody had told me a story that earlier, thousands of years ago, we used to remember our past births. But then there was some Rishimuni born, and then he asked God for a boon that man should forget all his earlier births, because what used to happen is he used to remember all the bad deeds and used to
Yeah.
wonder, anyway, I have done so many bad deeds, so I can do some more. It's anyway, I'm
Mm.
not going to get anything good. So
Okay.
let me just keep on doing that. Anyway, by doing all this chori, mari, whatever, I'm getting what I want. So why should I
Okay.
change myself? This is what
Ah,
this is a story I had heard. I don't know
okay.
whether that is the truth or no. I never came across any
No, that
one
could be a
telling me
story. That could
otherwise.
be a story with a kind of moral. Yes,
Hmm.
Alpin. That could be a story with a little moral key. And sometimes you don't want to go back too much. Otherwise, you'll have a flux of lot of emotions, isn't it? And sometimes you can't handle
Yes.
the previous. Like I know a couple of people myself. One friend in college, when before I even knew anything about this Marga or anything about even the ABC. Even now, I don't say I know much, but Adhyatma is what I was not aware of. At that time, my friend said he went somewhere with his mother and they
Hmm.
did some past life regression.
Hmm.
And this person was somebody who was into a heavy metal rock band, and he would take though I would it was wrong. He would take certain substances which are not to be taken. All of that. But
Ah,
this
okay.
person who was least likely, it seems he started crying. The reason is because his mother was a king who cut his hand. It seems. So
Hmm.
I asked him, "What will you do now in this birth? Are you going to take revenge?" He started laughing. He said, "No, no, I am not going to think about all of it." But that is one way. If you are not getting influenced, there are some I know some people who have not suffered in this birth, but these people are having visions of some suffering of a previous birth and going into a different chain. So maybe, as Alpanaji says, it is good we don't have the Smriti. But Smriti is in the Upanishad, it's asking us to remember. Remember what? Remember our golden chain, our link with the divine. We are carrying
Hmm.
that. We are that consciousness. They say Amrutasya Putra Vayam. We are the children of that immortal consciousness. Or Sri Aurobindo uses the word Anandasya Putraha. Children
Hmm.
of all of us, children of Ananda. If we recognize, just imagine if we recognize that our parents, yes, this birth we have wonderful parents. Some of us may have, some of us may not have parents. But if we recognize that our parents are divine, divine is our parent, what will happen? If you really realize it, it's not just a poetic thought. Ki, "Haan, yeah, this sounds good, all of it." No, if you do feel do feel and realize that, or you just get a memory of it, I think that will make a lot of difference, isn't it? It will not make us arrogant, like the politicians' children. They say, "Janta nahi mera baap kaun hai." That is a different arrogance. But when we realize the divine is our parent, we've become humble. We understand that we are being taken, even in our falls, even in our difficult moments, even in our most ugliest moments of pain. Sometimes we feel difficult. We don't know, where do I find strength? I'm not able to find it. And that time you can also receive from there. So these are factors which allow us, but nevertheless, it is an interesting paradox and interesting mystery of life that we don't know our past. Krishna also says to Arjuna, you don't know what's going to happen after also, isn't it? Can I say with guarantee what is going to happen to me tomorrow? Can I give a guarantee? Right, today only I said I didn't know if I will be able to attend today's class because the internet was, I am at the mercy of these forces as a human being. So many such limitations. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, birth, death, old age, disease. These are four truths. Whether or not I like it, it is a truth which has to be accepted and move. I have to understand and deal with samatha. Otherwise, I will not be able to move ahead. So this entire aspect does have a role, but our every action can be used as an instrument or a way of sadhana towards the highest goal that all of us have. Whether or not we realize it, we have one destiny. And what is that destiny? Anybody? When Bharat was under the occupation of so many forces, invaders, British were ruling India. There were a handful of people. There were a handful of people who knew this is not. We are destined for freedom. We are destined for getting free. And that is where you see, as we have Lokmanya Tilak Maharaj's beautiful slogan, Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. Yes, that was right. That is Sakshatkar is my birthright should be our simple slogan if we want to really realize because we are all destined for that. And this is the time for us, this is the most ideal time for us to seek that destiny. And where can it come? It can come anywhere. There is no one particular place that you can get it. The Buddha says you're a spark away from realization. The Buddhist Marga uses a lot of analysis. Why do they keep thinking? Well, through thoughts, they try to go to understanding logically, try to reach to a position. But in Gita, we understand that thoughts are also there. Mana, then there is buddhi, then there is something higher also. That is the divine. So now if we just were to look in light of exactly our question, what are the consequences of our actions? If we can choose what our consequences of action are, wouldn't it be nice if we can choose or at least understand the way of this? Because the way of this game of karma is very irritating and annoying. We don't understand what is going on, why is it going on. Most of the times when things don't go our way, we just get frustrated. What do you think? Wouldn't it be nice if we can get some kind of understanding about this? The flux of karma is too deep. So wouldn't it be nice? Anybody?
It's one step at a time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Towards the destiny. If we think about when I've arrived, when I'll do this, I'll do that, we miss out everything. It's the journey that counts.
Yeah.
So it's
Yes.
got to be
Yes.
one step at a time.
Yes. Yes. And
And
if it
that
is a
it's a conscious thing. It
yeah.
has to be a conscious journey as much as
Absolutely.
possible.
Yes. Yes. And it is much more fun, isn't it? If you are going on a tour, on a journey. If you just distracted from if say you're going to a hill station, I have read, I want to go to that particular place only. So now your friend calls out and say, hey, look out of the wind, look outside the window. Look how beautiful it is. Look at the mountains. You say, no, I don't want that. I'm going to go to that place. I'm going to see from there. what is going to happen? We're going to miss out on certain things if we are unconscious. It's not that a journey will change. The experience, the quality
Mm.
of that journey is
Yeah.
affected by unconsciousness. Imagine you
Yes.
fall asleep. So many times in the bus, I used to sleep. I didn't know when I would reach college. My friends would say, "Ah, you have got a vardhan of sleeping at will." It's a great. I said, yeah, that is good, but sometimes you do miss out when you're unconscious, isn't it? You don't even know what happens. Because before
Mm.
sleeping, two of my friends were very good friends. After I got up, I don't know what happened. They stopped talking to each other. So I missed the entire story. So, like that in life, we cannot be unconscious. And Gita Krishna tells that the flux of karma, Arjuna, is very, very deep. Like we saw, that we cannot even look what is behind us. Arjuna is so disturbed because what he has seen right now only in the battlefield, that he says he understood life. He feels he has become some very ancient soul because he has gone through a lot of difficulties in this battle only. He says, no, I have understood everything. That time Krishna says, see, uncertainty is a truth of life. Before you are born, you did not know, isn't it? You did not know what was it before your birth. You also don't know what's going to happen after death. So you only know the middle span of life. You only know what you have experienced. I know only what I have experienced. I know probably after the age of 4 or 5, what memory is very good with me. I know that. But what happened before 1990 year of my birth? Nothing existed. No. Shashiji can tell so many things have happened. So many other participants. I think Chitraji is on the screen, so I can say she was a little later after me. But before also, the world goes on. Krishna says, Arjuna, just because you know only one portion, say you know one third, you cannot draw a summary and conclusion of everything when everything is unknown. You just know a middle part that to till this date, till this moment, I know. I don't know next moment. I don't know next what's going to happen.
But
So if you don't
Shushuji,
know, yes, Vetaji. Yes, please.
Shushuji, we crave certainty so much.
Yeah. Yes,
So
yes. It gives,
how does this work that ecosystem expects us to, live, just understand the larger picture and understand the beauty of
it,
uncertainty, but isn't uncertainty so scary, and we all want to
no,
stick to either a decision or a confirmation bias or a certain amount of what do you
yeah.
call, ये रिजल्ट तो मेरे फेवर में आना चाहिए भगवान प्लीज मेरे.
Safe game खेलना है ना.
So
Security is
at
always
what
good.
point, I mean, at what point is it, it is that we are only intending, there's only an intention ki, great if it falls in my favor, but we all crave that certainty. Even the best of the sanest people, everyone craves
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, no, that is, if a storm is coming, how many of us will run towards the storm?
No, we are never
No,
been taught also, and nobody would do that
nobody will run
unless.
to the storm. They'll say
No.
it is illogical. It is because mind, our human logic has been, we can say, whether it has been programmed or not. A small child who has not been given the sanskara of this atmosphere or this current, whatever is being taught, like you said, ecosystem is training. Even if this child is placed, the child will first start trying to be safe only, isn't it? Because that is in our, it is a programming, prakriti, what we say, prakriti has put inside of us. Mana, prakriti has put buddhi also, prakriti has included ahankar also. And there are so many other factors. So yes, as a human being, all of us do crave for a kind of security because we feel everything that is impermanent or that which is not going to stay with us or not, we are not sure, that makes us very confused. But the Gita allows us to somewhere come out of that programming. Because every time we want this, I speak this, so I get this in return. People say, no, 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 nothing, you do nothing is free in the world. What is it? You have some other covert agenda. That is what you are doing. That is why you're conducting this workshop. As a friend was discussing with me. No, I don't have. That friend then disconnected with me only. Because I don't know, that person wanted everything. I must have a particular agenda. If you see agenda, right, maybe I want to grow. I want to study the Gita more and more. Maybe alone I may not read. When I have friends, I'm going to read with them. It is going to help me study better. But apart from that, what is certain? I think nothing else is certain. And if we recognize that this uncertainty is a part of our life, we become a little bit more calmer. Don't you think so, Shwetaji? If we
Yes,
recognize that I will not be able to control, I want my best friend to talk to me in a particular way. This is all right. But I cannot control and ensure that this person will talk that way. That will lose, I will lose the friendship. I'll become a manipulator. I'll become a controller, a control freak.
correct,
So
correct.
I have to recognize, I have to be mature enough to understand that though I understand or like certain things, certainty is something which is certainly not certain, isn't it?
Mm.
We will have to. So this is where Gita talks about. Means Krishna says this very nicely. I will just means the consequences of the karmas. No, what are the phala? Gita tells starts with the karmanye vadikaraste mam phaleshu kadachanam. Anybody, why do you think is the what is the logic behind this? This is the most powerful shloka of the Gita, isn't it? Mam phaleshu kadachanam. There's no certainty of the fruits of your action. But engage in karma yoga. You have the authority to do your karma, but not the fruits of the actions. How does this help us? Anybody? The guarantee only has been removed, isn't it? The guarantee of a result of your action. Yes, Shwetaji. Yes, please.
I think in my case, the
Ji.
unnecessary anxiety goes away. It's I just know what I can do and what I cannot do. Then it puts me in a place where I know what I can do,
Yes,
and
yes,
that's it.
yes. Yes, absolutely. So that is how, and just say archers in the Olympics. They're not always what whether I will now score or not, I will correctly hit the bullseye or not. If these thoughts come in, where is the karma going to take place? The thoughts are going to be clouding the karma. So for that,
Mm.
Krishna in the start and everywhere in the Gita, he keeps again and again repeating it. But very interestingly connected to our topic is the 18th Adhyaya of the Gita. If you see the 12th shloka of the 18th Adhyaya, which talks about, means from 12, we look at shlokas 12 to 15, because these are actually talking about the fruits. How are the fruits of actions? Everywhere he has told, don't think about the fruits of actions. But right now, Arjuna is ready in the 18th Adhyaya to receive the knowledge about what are the fruits of actions and what are the factors that govern the destiny of a person. And this has been told by the Yogeshwara, Krishna himself, the one who is already in that state of consciousness of connection with the divine. Anybody, it was something very interesting I learned in a workshop which I attended as a student. It was very interesting to hear that. Krishna could not recollect the Gita as it is afterwards. Anybody is aware of that?
No, sir. No, no, not at
No.
all.
Arjuna, isn't it, Shwetaji? Arjuna asked. He asked after the war. Arjuna asked Krishna, Krishna, you told the Gita, it was so special. Please, I want it once more because he's taken part in a very gory war. He feels, I want to receive the same Gita again. Please tell it to me again. Because that feeling comes again and again. I want to study the Gita again and again. I want
Yes,
that
it
we
happens
see.
with, I think it happens with a lot of people. I mean,
Yeah.
we want to revisit it.
Yes, yes, yes. That's why our Sanjay also says, "Na Rajan Sansmritya Samvadam idam adbhutam." He says again and again, I want to revisit this. I remember that Vishwarup. I remember this. That is what he says. But now when Arjuna tells it, Krishna says, he says that time I was yoga yukta. That moment was different. You were also different, Arjuna, at that time. And I was in that connection, Yoga Yukto. He says, I was in that state. I cannot give you the exact one, but I can give you the gist of it.
So even God says that He is the different person in a different moment.
Yes, yes, yes. So he
Because He
gives another
Himself says
Gita.
that the nature of dharma is not one, it depends on where you
Yeah,
are, what is
absolutely.
happening.
Ji, ji,
He has made it
ji.
so.
Yes, yes. And so he gives another Gita, which is called the Anugita, which is, I think, 300 verses, if I'm not mistaken. We can check it, do a fact check on that. But 700 are there in the Bhagavad Gita. But here again, it has become much shortened because that moment, Like the moment, that is the beauty of our life. The moment that we have today will not come again. And that is why it becomes all the more important that let us make the most of the moments that we have, because God only knows how many moments we have. We may think we have so many moments. And the way of life, the way of karma is so funny that sometimes people like Shivaji get a small life and Aurangzeb gets such a long life. And you will not believe Aurangzeb's son. He kept praying because he got banished. He tried to have an alliance with Shivaji's son and thinking he can overthrow Aurangzeb, and then he flopped miserably and he had to leave the country. Every day he kept praying, may my father pass away and I become the ruler. And yet Aurangzeb outlived his son also, though he was so cruel and so horrible. So this is the very interesting game of life. We do not understand it. So let us understand the rules, is what Krishna tells. He says, we'll go directly to the 12th shloka of the 18th adhyay. Krishna says, Anishtam ishtam mishram cha trividham karmanah phalam bhavatya tyaginam pretya natu sanyasinam kvachit. All fruits of actions in this world and the next can thus be desired or undesired or mixed. Only one of the three. Post death, too, the beings enslaved to fruits are bound, but those who renounce truly are in all worlds free found. So, this is so beautiful. This is actually connected with the Upanishads also. It is talking about other planes of existence. It is talking about simple practical aspect also. Any action that we do, any karma, will have one of the three karma phalas. Karma phala is a fruit of action. You do a karma, you will have a consequence, isn't it? You throw a simple stone into the river. What is the consequence? It creates a ripple. Sometimes the same stone you throw from the top of a snowy mountain, we don't realize it. The ripple, we think nothing is going to happen. But this one small stone is also that powerful that it can send a big, it can cause a great avalanche also later on. We don't really know. So, fruits, every action that you do, it can get one of the three fruits. One Krishna calls Ishta, one he calls Anishta, another he calls Mishram. It's a mixture. Kabhi khushi, kabhi gum. Something like that. Little bit happiness, little bit sorrow. Sometimes, exactly. Hey, I threw it, I did this, I got the exact result as I wanted. This person has planted the tree and it has given fruit. He's so happy. Sometimes another person has planted an apple tree and he's getting mangoes because that's something he did not want. Because the karma was for of planting a seed which he didn't understand. So when you are not conscious, mostly you get either undesired or mixed. When you are conscious, you have a great chance of understanding. But that does not mean that you will always get the fruits that you want only. There are a number of factors that govern. Those are the factors that we will look at. But before that, there's a very interesting point that post death too, the beings enslaved to fruits are bound. For those who renounce truly are only in all worlds free found. This post death also, if you look at Isha Upanishad also, Andha Tama Pravishanti Eke Chahatmano Jana, and then Krishna in the Isha Upanishad also it is said the same thing. Recognize that the owner is one. Kurvan nevehe karmani jijivishechitam samai. 100 years you live your life. Full life recognizing in the first shloka it is said, Isha vasya midam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjita magruda kasya svidhanam. Recognize that the owner is the divine. The divine is the owner of everything. Recognize the owner and perform your actions without seeking any fruits, because that is the only way which you can be free. Means the second shloka tells na kurvanneveha karmani jijivishe chatam sama evam tvai nanyat hetosti na karma lipyate nare, meaning the it is like your karma is not going to bind you. When is it not going to bind you? When you have truly sacrificed all. But when we don't truly sacrifice everything, isn't it?
Yes, and I
Yes,
have
see?
somehow realized, no, Shushruji, that many a times, even if with a lot of detachment, I work on something, and but
Hmm.
my heart still rests on one thing, कि ये
Hmm.
आ जाए मेरे पास या ये हो जाए मेरे फेवर में, वो
Ha,
हो
ha.
भी जाता है. But then once that moment has passed, I have this feeling that maybe I did not have I was not truly detached,
Hmm.
how it
Okay.
feels that अरे यार ये क्या बुला लिया अपनी जिंदगी में, इससे अच्छा तो बस करते.
Ha.
तो at what point it is like, I mean,
Ji.
at what point, I mean, we are like fully detached.
No, it is best is when you do a full offering of love. No, with offering, you give it full love without expecting, because love is the easiest emotion we can experience to help evolve ourselves towards the divine. And if you can channel that love instead of a human being, you can channel it to the divine. Nothing better. That does not mean you don't have to channel it to any human being. The divine will do the work. No, distributor is the divine. No, there's a network, isn't it, of distribution. Offer it to the divine without any expectation. When we do that, we become truly free. Otherwise, as I think Shwetaji said, very beautiful. It is very nice that when we do a self introspection, we can actually understand. Ah, yes, I still, because that is the best way to move ahead. Whether or not somebody else appreciates, or sometimes people may appreciate us for something. At that time, we can only realize, oh, see, this was not correct. This is not perfect, because that is the limit. Rakhi was going to add something. Please feel free, Ji. Yes, Ji.
Yes, ji. What Shweta ji just said that, uh, even if you want to get detached, at some point, somewhere, there is this thing that, you are expecting something or
Hmm.
the other. I mean, so it's like, when you set out to work for something, it's
Yeah.
like you have thought of something, okay, that you have to achieve this, beat anything, whether it is at home or at work. So there is a goal that you have set, and then you have laid the plan for it, and then even if you want to focus on it, on the process of achieving that goal, uh, you know even if you're focusing on the process only,
Hmm.
uh, but still somewhere at the back of your mind, even if you are doing it selflessly, if you're volunteering somewhere, or you are doing any
Hmm.
work without anything in your heart,
Expectation.
but still,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but still, somewhere, how do you completely detach?
Ha, ha. That
uh,
is
that
that
is
is a that is
Yeah,
a very
that
good
is the
question,
trick.
but that is
I mean, that
something.
is the question, and it is very
Yes.
tricky.
No, that is tricky, but the fact that this is able to be understood is the first step even towards eliminating. Like I am still holding a portion of expectation. Sometimes you do something. I remember once I did something. We can say it was nice according to my understanding, but I thought it was not bad. I didn't expect to be attacked for doing something nice. Means whether or not I got a praise or no. But that was also an expectation, isn't it? And Krishna gave a nice slap to me. Why do you
Yeah,
expect to get
but
something
But
in
if you
return?
see, no, see,
how do you get
I
rid of it?
Yes,
How do
Ji?
you eliminate that?
Yeah, Rakesh, I think yes. How do we eliminate that? That is what something we'll look at it
Sushruji,
now. Shweta.
Sushruji, one thing I want to add. If he keeps telling everybody that you eliminate your detachment, you detach yourself, eliminate your expectations.
He is free,
He
no?
did everything that he wanted
But
the
he
way he
was free,
wanted it.
no? No, no, but he was.
Manipulating,
Ji.
lying, doing all kinds of business,
No,
showing his
no, no,
divine
no,
side.
no, no. He was not a manipulator. I would not add that. Krishna was not a manipulator, though. Maybe again, it is a bhava. But I would say, Shwetaji, the pain of Krishna also, where not everybody is aware of what he has experienced, no? So many places. So if we study the life of Krishna, what happened?
Haan,
What like you remember when he got the curse, isn't it? Your entire
haan.
clan will get destroyed.
Yes,
And that time you do not know the pain is what he was told. You do not know
yes,
the pain
yes,
of a
yes, yes,
mother
yes.
losing. And that time he just smiles and he says, "No, mother, I know the pain. I didn't just lose my children on this side, I lost on both sides."
Yes.
So, yes, so what I'm saying is, okay, so this aspect of Krishna, he's a leader ji, by example. We have to follow. But many times we find it difficult. So, Krishna in the Gita only says, okay, don't think of me. I'll give you a human example, Janaka Raja.
Hmm.
First, he says his own example, but he
Hmm.
knows that he will feel he is too beyond. You know,
Hmm.
Bhagwan sab kuch kar sakta hai. He's got all the cheat codes. He can, he activates God. We had a game we used to play with God mode. We will never die in that game. So God probably has that, is what people feel. Don't compare with God. So he gives the
But
example. Yes.
it so that even his own leaning, like what Rakiji is also saying, that somewhere we lean on to one side of the
No, no, the
what
yogis do
we
not.
go.
Yogis, this is general. Gita is not a general person's psychology. It is for
Yes.
transforming. Krishna tells
Yes.
Arjuna, Tasmad yogi bhavarjuna, meaning you become a yogi and then engage in this battle. I want you to be a yogi. That's why I'm going to, say 700
Yeah.
shlokas to you in a place where nobody tells even one shloka.
So, Shruji, one
Yes,
thing.
ji.
See, Krishna says that you have to focus on the process.
Yeah.
You have to be in the
I was
moment.
just coming to an example, Jeep, to your question on about
Okay,
eliminating, no?
okay,
Means
okay, okay.
like you
Please,
gave the
please.
example of
Huh,
donation
yeah,
of somebody doing a
yeah.
good work, volunteering at an NGO or something like that, no? So
Hmm,
there
hmm,
was
hmm, hmm.
this just in that example. There's
Okay,
an
okay.
there is a person, he is giving what we can say dana. Gita tells us, no, what is a sattvic dana, what is rajasic dana, what is tamasic dana, all of it. So this person is doing a good dana. But while he was doing the dana, his eyes were little down, looking downwards. And so a person asks him, Ki, what is this? You're doing a good deed. Why are you looking down as if you're doing a bad deed? That time there's a nice, I do not know whose composition, some great Kavi he has in Hindi, because I didn't study after sixth class, so I do not know the exact origin. If somebody knows, you can tell me. But this beautiful phrase, देने वाला कोई और है, भेज तो जो दिन रेन, लोग भरम हम पर करे, ताको नीचे नैन. He says, I am in this position of giving because the giver is somebody else. He says, the giver is somebody else who is the provider. He is providing, and I am getting all the credit. So I am looking down because I don't want this credit. Na ham karta, hari hi karta. If we understand this, one is the bhava of it, but another is actually realizing it and doing it. If we miss, that is why we have to try. In human nature, lifelong we might have a battle to fight where we will try to come out of the doership. Again, a doership will come in. But ultimately, Rakesh, I think the way is, see, I am now in a position, whatever position I am now in, it is because of the divine. And that divine has given me this opportunity. I have to use it. But I shouldn't start thinking I am the owner of it. Because even Indra is a post, isn't it? Which changes after a while. You cannot get ahankar and think, I alone am the Deva, the Lord of the Devas. Something like that. So let us come into the Gita, 13th shloka, which Krishna says. He says, Panchaitani Mahabaho Karanani Nibodhame Sankhye Krutante Proktani Siddhaye Karmanam. Sankhye Krutante Proktani Siddhaye Karmanam. O Arjuna, learn from me as I shall reveal. The five main causes to you I shall unveil as per the wisdom of the ancient instruction, by which man attains in all his works a perfection. Means Siddhi is what? Siddhi is perfection, isn't it? Vacha Siddhi is what? The person who is able to speak properly is such sadhana the person has done that is, let's say he has reached Vacha Siddhi or she has reached it. Meaning what that person says happens. Why? Why does it happen? Because that person is not going to keep speaking continuously. No, what is going to speech is going to come from a higher consciousness. If you see smallest, like in now we say today we manufactured an oil at our factory. The tailor is become siddha. when it is ready. It's accomplished. All the factors are reached. So, like that, we can reach Siddhi in our karmas, is what Krishna is saying. When you understand that there are five factors, he says, learn from me. He says, I will reveal, and this is the ancient wisdom. These are the five factors which will allow Siddhi. Really speaking, the Gita is full of so many gems. I remember one person, they sent me a gift also because they picked up one shloka and then they started monetizing that shloka, that interpretation of the shloka, because this shloka is teaching this thing. So this was something new for me. I thought I was very happy when that person, but when I found out somebody was monetizing it, it was very funny to look at it, because if you really want to monetize, there are 700 shlokas to monetize. Why only one? So this one is a beautiful shloka again. Here Krishna says that this five main causes to you I shall unveil, by which man can attain in all his works of perfection. How? Imagine, it would be so beautiful, isn't it? We start cooking and we cook the most perfect dish. We go and speak something, we speak the most perfect words which somebody may want to hear at that time. It makes a difference, isn't it? Somebody in a lot of pain, if that person receives the right words, those words don't remain words. They become Amrut. They can change everything, because a person, a human being, has so a mysterious physiological inner working, that suddenly the body is like, I know of somebody who's having cancer, and that person got right words at a good time that immediately put in such enthusiasm into that person, that that person fought through the chemotherapy so well and came out of it. That really, and that dialogue changed somebody's life. That is so interesting. So Siddhi is something which we should try. Why even when we are folding our bed sheets, it's nice if we have Siddhi, isn't it? It will be perfectly folded. Why do we not aspire for it in every aspect? And Krishna says, see, I can tell you, Ishta, Anishta, and Mishra. If you are having Siddhi, your works will be perfect, or as close to perfection as can be. So human beings say perfection is a myth. I was asked a question, what is this perfection? How can, do you think, especially the younger generation, get irritated when you ask for perfection? They say, no, 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 don't talk about it. And they asked me, this is a myth, isn't it? And I said, no, for me, perfection is a reality. They said, what is perfect? I said, the aloo parathas of my mummy. They started laughing. I said, no, it's really, I have tried making, I have never been able to get that shape and this taste. And then what is the secret is whether or not I appreciate it. I used to be a hopeless son, at least earlier days. Nowadays, I'm guilty, so I try to work on my past prarabdha, bad prarabdha of just eating and burping without acknowledging or appreciating the parathas. Maybe now I'm not getting it so often, so it becomes tastier, whatever it may be. But how is it that the individual over decades and over so many, now we can say almost over 2 decades, continuously, how is it that an individual who is having so many responsibilities, so many work, yet when the work is, this particular work is done, it comes in a particular fashion only. Some people make chapatis, they make it so thin and so perfect. Everybody say, oh, this person is good or lucky, or this person has this kind of hand, so it works. It is not that, isn't it? It is the effort, it is the, what we can say, Siddhi comes with sincerity in action. So Krishna is saying, I'll tell you what are the five factors. Let us look at these five factors now. Adhishthanam tatha karta, karanam cha pruthak vidham, vividhascha pruthak cheshtha, daivam chaivatra panchamam. The five comprise the physical body as the base. So, number one, Krishna says, is the physical body. The five comprise the physical body as the base. Two, the doer whose command it obeys. Who is the karta? Who is the doer? Is it the Ahankar or is it Sri Hari himself? Who is the doer that is commanding the physical body? Is that doer what we quote Sri Krishna told, Nimitta Matra Bhava Savya Sachi? Is the doer a nimitta of the divine will? Is it an instrument who is perfectly obeying?
But
Or is it an
Sushil,
ahankari? Yes, ji.
doesn't it lead to a certain amount of passivity sometimes? I mean, does it happen to
Which
other people? I'm just
Uh, we will come to this question a little bit once the shloka
हाँ
is over.
ठीक 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 ठीक
Just, just let us see this. We will come to the question. We'll just keep it on hold for a moment to complete the five factors. Afterwards, we can look at, after looking at all five, what they are. First one is the Sharira. Second is the doer, whose command is this Sharira obeying. Then third, this is probably the word I think Krishna knew the question of Shwetaji before. So in the Gita, he has told the third factor as that only. The different kind of efforts, the senses that means see the first is physical body, second is the doer. Then third, the different kind of efforts. Then next, the senses that perpetuate. And finally, it is the individuals governing fate. Daiva. Daiva also means you cannot throw away fate as nothing. Fate is also creating one factor. But let us see now. Physical, just we'll look at the five factors, then look at the next shloka, then we'll come to Shwetaji's question also. So the first is what? The Sharira. Then who is giving the order to the Sharira? Is it somebody who is experienced? Is it the divine himself who is given the Adesh? When the divine's Adesh is received, there's huge transformation in individuals. Then, what are the efforts taken by that individual? Efforts are also one more factor. These are not independent factors. Each of them are connected with each other. So, physical body is there, the whose command, the different kinds of efforts, then the senses that perpetuate, and finally, it is the individuals governing fate. Fate also is there. Finally means it is a fifth factor. Not that finally fate is only deciding everything. Because fate does not have that much power to put a full stop on a aspiring soul's journey. Maybe it can put a comma or something like that or a hurdle. But fate cannot have that much power. It is one of the five factors, one of the pancha factors. That's what the Gita says. Let us look at the second aspect, next shloka, and then we come to the discussion. शरीरवाङ् मनोभिः यत्कर्म प्रारभते नरः न्यायं वा विपरीतं वा panchayite tasya hetavah. The five elements constitute and interact to create the governing cause by which all beings act. They chisel and mold man's development and outcome and define what his deeds of mind, body, and speech become. These five factors, they are working like in a combination, they are working in tandem. What are they doing? They are creating the ground, they are creating the governing cause under which all beings are moving. What are they doing? They are chiseling and molding man's development in outcome and defining what the deeds of mind, body, and speech become. So these five factors together govern is what Krishna is saying. If we look at the five factors, sometimes if we are very frustrated in life, we are not understanding what is happening. Why are my efforts going down the drain? I think that's a very good time to do what they call in Marathi Simha Lokan. Sometimes it is done after moving ahead, but sometimes even when you're getting stuck, you have to sit and look at what are the five factors, these five factors. What can I do? What can I do? Many times it is fate only which makes a lot of difference in somebody's thoughts. No, no, sometimes people give up also because of fate, because they feel this is not a good fate. Imagine somebody born without arms and limbs. What will such a person, can a person even dream of doing anything like this? A person without arms and limbs. Anybody?
There are individuals, a few individuals in the world
Yeah.
who are born like that,
Yes,
and
yes.
uh,
I
there
know
is
of a person,
one,
I remember in school there
and
was one
they
young man.
absolutely, yeah, what they don't have, they don't miss. If you know what I
Yeah,
mean, they make do
yes,
with what they've got, and they
yes.
absolutely. We've got hands, arms, limbs, we've got
I,
everything,
yeah.
and yet we can't achieve what they've achieved
Actually,
because
I had, yes, there was one individual I remember in school when I was in my high school. I was so frustrated with, I don't know what that time, but I was very frustrated though I had my hands and limbs intact. But that time I saw a video of a man without his hands and legs, and he's just somehow walking, giving motivational talk. He's having a small flesh portion remaining. He says, I have got a chicken leg. Means one small that he's making fun of himself. Turns out he's a great motivational speaker. I think his name is Nick Vujicic. I'm not sure of his current story. I'm telling almost so many years ago. And there is a big danger. Sometimes you quote somebody. One more hero of mine in school turned out to be a murderer later on. So I don't want to directly quote names, but this was a great. This is something which he did. He learned to
Yeah,
swim also. He learned to
yeah,
swim without.
he
And
drives, he does
oh, you
everything.
know him. All right. So he must be doing well then. He is doing
Mm.
right now also good. So
He
okay.
swims,
Yeah, yeah. Yes, so
you
this is
know.
and inspiring people to making a difference, living a life. So here fate has not drawn a full stop. Yes, of course, it is not a good fate. Nobody will say it's easy to be born without limbs and hands. But if you look at the other factors with the same example itself, you see, Sharira again, fate and Sharira both are a little bit on the adverse side for such an individual, isn't it? Sharira also is having a difficulty because Sharira is important in the sadhana in Gita also. Krishna keeps telling, Idam Shariram Kaunteya. Understand this body is the base. Without this Sharira, you cannot. So we have a duty towards our body. The first dharma is taking care of the body, no matter how it is. कैसा भी है जैसे टेढ़ा है पर मेरा है something like that. It is my sharira, whatever is good, whatever is not, it is mine, which has been given by the divine. I hold the responsibility of taking care. Just like your best friend gives a vehicle to you, what will you do? Ah, my friend has given a vehicle. If it's a bike, let the both tires come out, let me ride as much as I want. No, you take extra care more than your own because you know this is not under your care, it is not your property. Something like that. When you recognize this body is the divine's property, you'll have to start taking good care of it. Then whose commands? What is the ahankar that is running inside of the individual? The individual ahankar can make you very disturbed over certain factors. But if you somehow try to find in that darkness, you find a ray of hope, and that is the ray of the divine. You hold on to that, no, you will get that light. Suddenly it will be like parting through the clouds. You will get a full beam of light. Only that ray will also become something else, and transformation can happen. Then the efforts, this is very much in human hand, isn't it? Efforts is a beautiful saying. You can move mountains, you can drain oceans. Faith, faith, faith in thee, faith, faith, faith in God. Means faith in God and faith in yourself. Faith in ye and faith in God. Faith in yourself and faith in God. Keep both with you and put your efforts. And people have done absolutely supreme things which are considered divine. Ordinary individuals becoming divine, sometimes they become revered as gods also because of the efforts. So efforts are definitely something. Then again, the senses, the indriyas, are they aligning with the divine consciousness? Are my efforts allowing me to move towards the divine, and are my senses supporting the efforts, or are they draining my efforts? So the senses also are there, and the fate. So these five factors, they work like a uh, in tandem. They mold a personality, and then they determine the destiny of an individual. So no one factor is enough. All five factors, they are like a chisel. If you see a rock is, if you just imagine rock has feelings. When a sculptor is going to hit, how is it going to be to the rock? Every time a portion of the rock is falling off, the rock is going to cry, isn't it? Okay, I've lost a bit, I've lost a bit. And then afterwards, you see the rock is going to get transformed into something absolutely brilliant. Sometimes that rock becomes a piece of rock becomes a vigraha in a temple. People bow. That rock becomes divine. So this is basically the five factors. If we want to, yes, destiny can be rewritten not alone by human will combined with the divine will. Yes, Shweta ji, you were asking something. We can look at it now.
I wanted to understand sometimes when we detach and we believe that we are just the nimit matra. We all are, of
Yeah.
course.
Okay. Okay.
sometimes in certain situations I feel that it leads to a certain amount of passivity.
Okay, yeah, true,
कभी कभी
true.
लगता है that I could have done a lot more. फिर कभी कभी it feels like no, I should have prudent enough to not.
No, no. That
So
I could have done more is not passivity. That is an aspiration for more, but not wanting to do or sometimes withdrawal, no? Passivity is something like, can we say, can we equate it to withdrawal, Shweta ji, from activities
yes, yes,
sometimes?
yes.
Yes,
Sometimes we all
that,
withdraw, but
yeah.
sometimes
Hmm.
I feel withdrawing is also wise.
No, withdrawing is wise. That is when you do it consciously, but when you do it unconsciously under the spell of your own emotions, then Arjuna was withdrawing, no, from the battle in the very first adhyay.
That was out of fear.
Yeah,
Of
because we
course,
have a, yeah, and like you said in the sadhana also, many times passivity does creep in, but that is not something which is good for our growth, isn't it?
correct.
So we have to remove it. It is,
Keep it in check.
we have to keep it in check. Yes, that is why efforts are also one of the five factors. It's very
That's why.
easy, isn't it? These efforts cannot stop, no matter what. And there is no limit to
Yes.
perfection, isn't it?
Yes, there is no
As an
limit to what
artist,
could have gone right, what we could have done
yeah,
better.
yes, Ashwata ji, as an artist, you make a beautiful picture. Say you've drawn something
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
you've designed something.
Yes.
It's very nice. You're happy with the outcome, and yet you
Hmm.
feel, ah, this little bit more, little bit more.
There's
Can this
certain
be?
amount of yes. That's where this is coming from. If I write something, after a few
Yeah,
days I feel, oh my God, this is such badly written work. Or maybe when we design
absolutely.
something, after
Yes,
1 year, our own works feels very
yes,
immature.
yes. True, true, true. Sri Aurobindo himself, his own writing, he kept working on it more and more. He said, this can convey the higher consciousness better. So he would rewrite better to make the expression even better. Yes, Vitaji. So that passivity is something we have to keep in check. It is,
I think passivity is more like क्या फायदा? What is the point of
then
making
that
the
is like
effort?
what they call, then
हाँ.
Krishna says, no, Arjuna says, how can I? My mind is so chanchal. He says,
Hmm.
chanchalam hi mana Krishna. How can I bring a control over my mind when it is so fluctuating and jumping like a monkey from here to there? That time Krishna says, abhyasena and vairagyena. But Vairagya's Abhyasa is practice. By practice, you have to remove the passivity. And another is by Vairagya is detachment. But in the detachment, also a different passivity comes in. That is where it is a dangerous way. That is called
Yes.
Smashan Vairagya. It is a disillusionment.
ये वाला मैं आपसे पूछ रही हूँ. The one that comes from we think is detachment, but is it is
No, no, that
actually
is Smasha. They call it Smashan Vairagya. It is like it is a Vairagya taking you out of the activity of world. Imagine Arjuna suddenly saying, "Ah, Nainam Chindati Shastrani." Krishna has told, nobody, no weapon can cut the spirit inside of me. I don't need this weapon in my hand. Let me get cut physically, but my spirit is not going to cut. What is that? Is that truth? It's a
No.
tamasic distortion of the truth. That kind of vairagya is something, again, that has to be kept in check. Because many times in spiritual path, people see the divine and say, ah, divine is so good. Divine is so good. This world is so useless. This don't need this world. I like the divine. Or sometimes some we can say viraha bhakti of some followers of the divine. No, even Krishna's many followers, they feel that no, 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 I can't experience Krishna at all, and then they get attached to the sorrow of separation from Krishna.
हाँ.
Means they get attached to that sorrow only of separation. Krishna is sitting next to them, they will not see. No, no, he's so good. I cannot see him anytime this life is gone. What a sorrow it is. This life is that only.
Yes,
That's
yes, it
the
has happened with me. I have couple of times I've felt that oh my God, I'm not even close to any
yeah.
good thought. But yes, it gives a certain amount of
Yeah, so that has to be kept
sadness.
in check. Yes, Shwetaji. I think that is a right point that you said because that will again take us away from the destiny. If we were to just draw a conclusion of our session today, it is this that yes, Gita talks about being able to write your destiny, not by your own ego will, by connecting with the divine, together with the divine. It's nice to have an advisor, isn't it? Who is wise. We could, right? We can sometimes situations, even if they seem so adverse it may be that physical body is not supporting. Yet, if you connect with the divine, if you know, control your senses, channel your efforts, things can change. Things can change definitely. We can write the destiny with the divine, and probably we must realize that our destiny is realization. The more of us get realized, the more beautiful the world will be. And the world really needs that joy of feeling that true freedom. So I think with this we can conclude. If there is any question anybody wishes to ask or share, you're welcome. Or we conclude with the Shanti mantra. Yes, please. All right, then in that case, we conclude with the Shanti mantra. Hari Om. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् हरि ओम तत्सत् कृष्ण वन्दे जगद्गुरुं पुनर्मिलामः see you next week हरि ओम
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
हरि ओम
Hari
जी
Om.
हरि ओम
Hari Om.
हरि ओम